All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever been told that you're too sensitive? Or maybe you just feel like you get completely overwhelmed by the world way too easily? Well, in this explainer, we're going to flip that entire idea on its head. We're going to look at this powerful concept that suggests it's not a flaw at all. It's actually a feature of how your brain is wired.
So this is where we start. This is a direct challenge, right? It's a challenge to a label that, let's be honest, a lot of us have probably carried around for years. And it's a label that usually comes with this feeling of being kind of flawed or broken. But what if that whole idea is just wrong?
Just think about that for a second. All those times you felt overloaded by loud noises or big crowds, or even just the tiny emotional shifts in a room. What if the reason for that isn't some kind of weakness? What if it's actually something else? Something way more powerful?
Now this gets to the heart of it. Instead of feeling fragile, what if your perception is actually stronger? Let's give this a name. Let's call it being a super sensor. You see how that flips the script? It's no longer a passive thing where you're just sensitive to stuff. It's an active thing. It means you have this unique, advanced ability. It's not about what the world is doing to you. It's about what you are able to see.
Okay, so what does this actually mean? What is a super sensor, really? And why is a high-performance radar system the perfect way to think about it? Let's break it down. So, here's the key. Your brain isn't just passively taking things in. Nope, it's actively scanning. Just like a really advanced radar system, it's picking up on all these data points that most people completely miss. You know, the subtle shift in someone's tone of voice, the whole mood of a room the second you walk in, even the texture of the walls. Your brain is an information-gathering machine. This analogy really makes it click, doesn't it? Think about it like this. Most people are going through life watching it on an old standard definition security monitor. You know, it gets the job done, you see the basic shapes, you see the general movement, but your brain? Oh, your brain is a state-of-the-art cinematic camera, and it's recording everything in stunning 8K. The difference in the level of detail is just monumental. And that brings us right to our next point. This whole idea of seeing in 8K resolution is really the key that unlocks everything. Because it's not just a vague feeling, it's a fundamental feature of your neurology. This quote just paints such a vivid picture. While other people are just getting the basic plot of a scene, you're processing everything. The way the light hits the wall, the specific sounds in the background, the subtext of what's not being said, the tiny micro-expressions on someone's face. You're capturing the full, rich, cinematic experience of life, not just the highlights. And here's the breakdown. The standard brain, it sees the basics. It's that grainy security monitor. But the super sensor brain, it's perceiving details that others are literally incapable of even noticing. The fidelity of your day-to-day experience is just on another planet. It's the difference between a blurry pixelated image and a crystal clear IMAX movie. And this right here, this might be the most important takeaway of all. This isn't about you seeing too much. It's about seeing with a higher resolution. It's not a disorder. You're not overthinking things. You are simply seeing what is actually there, but you're seeing it with a clarity and a resolution that's just unavailable to most people. It's a higher fidelity version of reality. So, is any of this starting to sound familiar? Let's go over a few really clear signs that your brain might just be recording the world in 8K. Let's see if these ring a bell for you. Okay, first up, the radar sense. You know this one. You walk into a room and bam! You instantly know the vibe before anyone even says a word. Second, the detail focus. You're the person who actually notices the fine grain on a wooden table or the specific unique shade of green in a single leaf. And third, the cinematic view. Have you ever been in a conversation and you find yourself getting distracted, not because you're bored, but because you're suddenly aware of the overwhelming detail of, say, the texture of the chair you're sitting on? That's your brain just processing everything. Once you start recognizing these signs in yourself, it brings us to our final and honestly most empowering section. This isn't about trying to manage some kind of burden, it's about learning how to use a gift. It's your very own sensory superpower.
I want you to let that sink in for a second. This is the core shift in perspective. It's not about being broken, it's about being built differently, on a higher spec. You are not flawed. Your operating system is just more advanced. And because of that, you are recording life in 8K.
So let's wrap this all up. What this really means is you can finally stop thinking of yourself as too sensitive. You're not. You're a super sensor.
Your brain isn't overwhelmed. It's a high-performance radar system doing its job. And because of that incredible system, you get to experience the world in beautiful, breathtaking, ultra-high definition. And that really just leaves us with one last big question. Now that you know you have this cinematic, high-resolution camera for a mind, this incredible sensory superpower, how are you going to use it?